Why did my dermatologist literally run out of the room after my first Botox injection? So my wedding was 3 weeks away, and my skin doctor Crystal kept telling me I should get Botox for these lines on my forehead that showed up in literally every engagement photo we took. I kept saying no because the idea of needles in my face freaked me out, but the wedding was so close and we were paying the photographer $5,000, so I finally decided to do it. Crystal was super chill about it, saying she'd been doing Botox for over 15 years and had done thousands of foreheads exactly like mine, so there was nothing to worry about. She wiped my face down with alcohol and put these little dots where she was going to inject, while telling me how the muscles would relax and the lines would disappear in a few days. The needle was crazy tiny when she showed it to me, and she promised I would barely feel it. She did the first shot right between my eyebrows, and honestly it felt like nothing, just a tiny pinch. She moved to the second spot on my forehead and pushed the stuff in real slow. When she pulled the needle out and went to grab a cotton ball, her hand started shaking so bad she dropped the syringe and it bounced across the floor. She made this weird choking sound in her throat and started blinking really fast like she was trying to wake up from a nightmare, while taking these tiny steps backward until she hit the counter. I kept asking what was wrong, but she literally couldn't speak. She grabbed her phone and started taking pictures of my forehead without even asking, then ran to the door screaming for another doctor to get in there right now. Within like 30 seconds, there were 4 people crowded around me, all talking in medical words I didn't understand. This one nurse kept saying, "That's not possible," over and over, while another one was checking my pulse and blood pressure like I was dying. The other doctor had a name tag that said, "Dr. Wilson," and he grabbed this magnifying glass thing and got so close to my forehead I could smell his coffee breath. Crystal finally grabbed a mirror with shaky hands and showed me what everyone was freaking out about. The spots where she'd injected me had turned completely blue under my skin, like she'd shot me up with blue dye instead of Botox. The blue was spreading out from each needle hole in perfect circles, getting bigger every second like when you drop ink in water. Dr. Wilson said it had to be blood pooling under the skin, but when he pressed on it, the blue didn't move or change. Crystal thought maybe the Botox was bad, but she'd used the same bottle on 3 other people that morning and they were totally fine. Another nurse said maybe I was allergic, but I'd never been allergic to anything, and there were no other symptoms of an allergic reaction. They put ice on it thinking that would stop it from spreading, but the blue actually got darker and spread faster when it was cold. They tried heat next, and the same thing happened. Crystal kept saying sorry, and that in 15 years she'd never seen anything even close to this. She called the Botox company while Dr. Wilson took like 10 tubes of my blood for tests. The blue kept spreading down past my eyebrows and onto my eyelids while they scrambled around trying everything they could think of. They tried different creams and even considered trying to drain it with a needle, but nobody wanted to make it worse. By the time it stopped spreading 3 hours later, the entire top third of my face from my hairline to just under my eyes was this solid blue color under the skin. Crystal was literally crying at this point, saying, "Your wedding is in 3 weeks," over and over, while I sat there looking like I was wearing the world's worst superhero mask. They kept me for 3 more hours running every test they could think of, but found absolutely nothing wrong with me. Crystal didn't make me pay and gave me her personal cell phone number, making me promise to call if it got worse, though I don't know how it could. The blue never faded and never changed. It just stayed there under my skin like a permanent tattoo that I didn't ask for. I had to hire a Hollywood special effects makeup artist for $800 just for my wedding day. She had to use this thick theatrical paint that took 3 hours to apply and made my face feel like it was wearing a rubber mask. I've been to over 20 different specialists, but nobody ever has any explanation for why half my face turned blue from 2 tiny Botox injections.